Hello, folks. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Testing. This is Kev, and glad to see you guys again so soon. Because last live stream I did, I had a lot of welcome back Kevs. So so yeah, it is pretty soon compared to what I've been doing recently. Yeah. So just I've been checking out other content creators, and although I don't have any to recommend right now, I can tell you that their production levels, some production levels are pretty good, and especially if it's in this type of subject matter that we deal with. But I'm gonna switch to more of a variety, and it's not because of the subject matter. That I am going to rant about tonight. Yes, this is a rant, a monologue, a stream of consciousness. Uh, I wouldn't say it was the best stream of consciousness, but I at least make it digestible. Now, if I haven't introduced myself, my name is Kevin. I've been at this for a few years. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Nah, well, it used to be named Black Men Being Brutally Honest, but now it's in a singularity. Now it's black man being brutally honest. So shows you I got to get used to it myself. So anyway, yeah, have a person in the chat. RPM, what's good, man? Good to see you. If you are watching, please do not be shy. If you would like, go ahead and you can participate in the live chat, but also shout out to the replay gang. For those of you who are not here live, and yeah, my last show did pretty good considering the black men need therapy, and I don't have this belief that black men should be shamed into therapy. Therapy is a very personal decision. If that's something you would like to do, and you think that's something that will help you as far as your mental health, then by all means, I support it. But to be insincere because of a conversation and saying someone needs therapy just because they hurt your feelings, then those are the kind of people that you might want to avoid. Dumbasses. But anyway, okay, we got the Revelator 6554. I wish they stopped showing everybody's name like that. Like it shit. Like I like to call out your full names. I mean, but what's good, man? Good to see you. Chaos Rain is in the building. Okay, so all right, yeah. Like I said, okay. Please hit that like button on the way in, and if you hit that dislike button, hey, that's what. If you want to do that, hey, shit, I can do about it. So, so, Phil Brad, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? It's just I know it's been a while for me to go on a regular basis, but yeah, we got some stuff to discuss, and it's in light of this. I will be covering this documentary. I don't even know if I need to cover the documentary because for someone who has created a male space for black men, I know how that kind of thing can be. But I will give you a little quick opinion of it. I mean, do you really need to watch something like this to get the picture of what they were trying to do? I mean, from the clips that I've seen, I mean, it really, if you know anything about the manosphere, or let's even put it in more familiar territory, the black manosphere. Yes, definitely. But at least the girls want to fuck him. I'll say that, Phil. I mean, not you in particular. I know your name is Bradley, but you know, shoot, Marcus Romero Productions, what's going on? We got Edward Bailey. What's good? What's good, all of you, man? Thanks for stopping through. Hit that like button on the way in. Now, where was I? Oh, okay, this inside the manosphere bullshit. Yeah, it was BS. I mean, if you have no clue as to what the manosphere is, I mean, before watching this, if you're going to, you know, if you're going to take this guy's word for it, then you deserve to worry about it. Also, let me put out a disclaimer. As weird as this is going to sound, this show is not meant to defend red pill or manosphere in any way, shape, or form. Although I am not going to condemn the ideologies. As for any of you who have been watching more than 5 minutes, you know in the past that I have promoted and have attempted to uplift the black manosphere. The black manosphere, as far as I'm concerned, from the information that I've received, is the original manosphere. Whether people like it or not, whether people want to do this white man's ice is always cold as shit, just like they're doing with Mr. Louis Theron right here. Oh, this is their hero. This is their feminist icon right here. And I always notice, like, it always be these frail guys, like these frail white guys that do this. So if people want that to be their symbol of masculinity, they can continue to do things that will continue to fail. Because I mean, like I said, if your understanding of the manosphere is just off of this documentary, you deserve to stay awake at night worrying about stuff like this. And please do not pretend to be concerned about the mental state of young men that you have ignored for years, maybe decades at this point, because a few content creators that, by the way, say stupid shit said some things that hurt your feelings. I just happen to have a little bit more faith in young black men altogether than what was being presented. So I don't think that people are going to sign up for stupidity. But hey, you know what? I always say that anything that the man misses out on growing up, hey, that's a failure of the parent. Whether it's a single mom, whether it's a two-parent home, you know, whether it's a single dad, which is unlikely statistically, but hey, let's just throw that in there. Shoot, that's a nightmare for me failing as a parent. And no, I do not have to get in online spaces and blame a particular group. I'm always going to be my biggest critic, but I also know how to call a spade a spade. And people are upset with men, black men in particular, because a lot of us know how to call a spade, and we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to think about this from a I guess gynocentric standpoint, from a matriarchal standpoint. I don't back down from that position. I do believe that there's a large matriarchal mindset. Gregory Scotland, what's good? I do believe that there is a large matriarchal mindset within the foundational Black American community. Although, if you are claiming FBA, you're probably a more solid melanated person from the United States than people who want to claim other things. But hey, that'll be another show. I do have an intent to, have a show about my run-ins with a tether, but that's it requires me saying another content creator's name, and I'm a little busy trying to get myself back on and not to focus on beefs and gripes so much. But shows like that are always fun if you've definitely proven a point and you understand that that you were right, especially me in that situation. I was completely right. But ignorance and stupidity, I mean, tries to power up on you, and what can you do? So anyway, shoot. All right, says Miami being called the capital of the manospheres, but yeah, when I heard that, I said, "What? Are you fucking kidding me? Miami? Why? Cause fresh and fit? Shoot, shoot." Miami being called the capital of the manosphere is very laughable. It's actually a capital of fake alpha gurus, gold diggers, and scammers. Yeah, dudes that think that they can pay for respect, not actually earn it through true masculinity, not this pseudo shit that be. And look. Let's get something straight. Let's get something straight. Yes, there are content creators out there trying to sell pseudo masculinity and false hope. So yeah, there. It if you agree that there is a sisterhood problem, you would also agree that there are influencers doing all kinds of shit that can do things such as hijack your limbic system by telling you what you want to hear and helping you to avoid accountability. Accountability is a bad word, especially over here. So anyway, Miami can't be the capital. Well, yeah, well, we know. But let me go back to the other image. This show is not to. It's just like seeing stuff like that is nothing new. These attacks on male spaces, it's nothing new. I experienced that before I knew what an actual manosphere was. The pun on manosphere that I heard the first time was Negro manosphere. The first time I ever heard a manosphere was Negro manosphere. And it was the guy that was running a Facebook page called the Negro Manosphere. I forgot his name. Some of you may know the guy. I mean, if you want to throw the name in the chat, you can. But it's not the guy in Africa. It's not the guy that had a prominent name in this space. It's somebody else. He was more like a writer. He writes editorials. Uh, Gregory Scotland, thank you for the super chat. All right. He says that, hey, BMBBH, here we have another hit piece. We had Adolescence about a year. I heard about Adolescence. I might check that out. And then CNN and now this documentary. Uh, Let me see. Yeah, it was. The, if you didn't know anything about the Manosphere before, and I think I've said this a couple times already, you're taking this as your introduction to the Manosphere, it's off. You deserve to be tortured because it proves that people don't do actual research. They just hear what they want to hear. People don't care about people only care about how you make them feel. It's just believe that. So thank you once again, Gregory Scotland, for uh the super chat. Really appreciate it. If there's some out there that don't appreciate it, we don't care about this shit. So thank you very much. And don't let that brother be alone. Also, my Cash App is displayed as well. If anyone would like to put into that as well. Okay, so all right. So why would I choose an AI image to say, hey, I asked for a middle aged clown, but they gave me a briefcase that said something on it, said funny stuff, I believe. So I just said, why doesn't it say this instead? Uh, yeah, and I used to really like badmouth anyone that would call themselves anti-red pill or anti-manosphere because the most basic bare bones reason for that is y'all just those guys and those women, they just want to drag black men. That's all it was. I mean, for real, if it wasn't for words like red pill and manosphere, they wouldn't have it. They would find another way, basically. So anyway, like I said, hit that like button and find another way. Put on some music. I said I knew I was missing some. And do some. Which one? Which one? Which one? All right. So let's do one. Let's do a track that's a little bit masculine. But yeah, let me get back on track. In fact, let me start the new spot. Yeah, the attack on men spaces. I'm very familiar with this. Because back in April of 2017, I created this Facebook group called Black Men Being Brutally Honest with Everyone. The original subtitle was "And Their Moms." It's just something we said in the South. I mean, like, we used to, say shit like, "I beat your ass in front of everybody and your mama," just stuff like that. So that's why I named it. But some people took it as offensive and a direct attack on women. So I did drop the "in their mom's" part. And then it was just with everyone. But just having that name was enough. It was enough. And I learned how bad, like, I knew that men got dragged in spaces that were more feminist leaning. So I already knew that. So I just want to create a space where men didn't get ostracized like that, didn't get booted, didn't get kicked out, blocked because they had an opinion that was different from other people's opinions. And and usually those opinions were, more sisterhood, simp leaning. So I want to create a space where everybody could just address each other. And all it did was turn into a big old spat. People came in there and did what they call trolling, but really it was a bunch of misandry. I mean, to say that misogyny didn't exist, I mean, it couldn't not exist in an environment like that. And yeah, by definition, you did have a couple of misogynists in that group, but you had a ton of misandry. It was so much misandry in that group to the point where it was like people really thought that it was feminists running the group. They had all kinds of like goalpost moves, conspiracy theories, COINTELPRO, Russian bot, self haters, white people in blackface profiles. It was every fucking thing. And it was all because you didn't lean into a matriarchal mindset. I didn't run the group like that. I didn't run the group like, we were a bunch of feminists. Yeah, there were feminists and simps. And yes, there were those misogynists. But my thing is like, I guess deep down I did kind of like the conflict. I didn't encourage the conflict. Because see, I'm from a place where I would rather black people party, have a few drinks, smoke a little bud, chill, tell some jokes, have a good time. Men and women dancing with each other. That's my dream environment right there. Everybody getting along, not too much drama. You can't have just all good and no bad. There has to be a little conflict somewhere, but not to the point where people get hurt. Enough to achieve a balance. But people are just chill. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone is being the community that we say we want. But in discovery of actual life experiences, is it something that we really want? Do we want things to be more fun than drama, or what we've been seeing, more drama than fun? So when you have when you have a group with that name that causes and invokes that kind of emotion, then all of the feminists come out, all of the misanders, all of the victimhood bitches, all of the opportunistic simps that just say, "Hey, I'm gonna use this opportunity to grow my personal page." It was everything. I had a dude write a whole post on his page talking about this is a homosexual group, this is a gay group. This is a man space now. This is something that I had well established is a straight man space. For real. And I did that and I established that through the actions that I took. Like if you were on some shit that I just blatantly did not agree with, like some anti-black, I mean, you could be an anti-black man, but don't be sitting up here talking about fuck this nigga's dead father or some shit. You were booted immediately. you know, I mean, shoot, I ain't got time for that. If you cannot have a decent, nice conversation, then I mean, it ain't got to be nice. Maybe that was the wrong word. If you can't have a decent, thought-provoking conversation without acting like a little piece of shit, then maybe you did not need to be there. And the reputation of the group was fried anyway. Shoot, it was nothing I could have said that could have made that group presentation any better than what it was. And it was because the group was created and run by a guy that a lot of people tried to say did not exist. A black husband who was a present father. It disappoints me that black folks would rather go with the whole black fathers not being there when there are stats that, say otherwise. But then again, I'm not surprised anyway to a bunch of let me not do the what's wrong with black people thing again. Because, just don't F some FBA shit. I can't spend all my time just saying you niggas, being bitter about, the past. Because they say that's what our problem is. We're bitter about the past and we need to go get some therapy. I think the way that people act when they feel as if no one is looking, I think that tells a lot about the who the person really is. And that's a reason why men's spaces get attacked, because people can't help but to show who they really are around a bunch of people they say that they don't like and they don't respect. You know, a lot of people came to that group wanting to know what black men thought, and guess what? We could have had all the Black History posts in the world. We could have had all of the job recruitment posts in the world, all the upliftment posts in the world, all that stuff. The second a black guy said anything negative about black women, I saw at least 15 posts. This group this group that. And then the misandry would come out. That one guy, the one problem I have with weirdos like that is they never own their position. They'll make a post just to get everyone mad and get everybody on their page. But at the same time, there's no defense of the place that you did this at. And it's not like I wasn't expecting it, but I expect black men to hold down a spot when there is needed. I expect men to hold down a spot when it's needed. And it's not just because I'm a part of whatever. It's because we're supposed to be men. We're supposed to be able to do that. The position that a lot of your boomer dads and a lot of these Gen X and millennial simps let these women have are supposed to be your position as men. And you let it go. It's not up to me to reclaim it for all of you. The only thing I can do is stand 10 toes down myself. You don't have to stand 10 toes down. Believe that. But, if you care about anything, you will. But anyway, yeah, I'm no stranger to this shit. You're supposed to think like a bitch. You're supposed to shut the fuck up. And you're supposed to do everything you can to be someone's utility as a man. If you encourage anything else, if you encourage any agency, if you say, hey man, don't let these hoes drag you down, at least. You can say that without saying bitches ain't shit. If you are about any type of truth, you are labeled as a misogynist, a self-hater, a closeted homosexual. And you are expected to be quiet about it. Or you crying, you whining. It's the same stupid ass attacks every fucking time. People have been saying this so much for 10, 15 years. It's like, for at least 10, 15 years from what I can see. And then you got those people that's like, you got the people that say, well, don't let it get to you. But it's like, if all men ignored everything negative said about men, the other side wouldn't slow down. The other side wouldn't stop. You know why? Because the other side started first. I'm not saying that men should be fussing and arguing with folks. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that men should be claiming some pseudo masculinity. I'm not saying that, it's time for me to take charge in a conversation. Because see, the one thing that people that don't like you can do is tune you out. and make you look like a crazy person. Shoot. God, it's just, and it's like they don't care, but they do care. Let me explain. They don't care in the sense of changing. They don't want to change. They'll fight to not change. They'll only change if it means survival. I'll put it to you like that, which means that if there's a consequence for the person that you are debating. Say, for instance, when they say black men have no power, this is just one little instance. What that person essentially is saying is, you don't have the power to shut me up from disrespecting you. You don't have the power to suppress me using policies and laws that you levy. You don't have the power to shut me up and get away with it. Shut me up by any means and get away with it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to disrespect you as much as I want. They clowning you. They clowning your family. Oh, believe me. I don't even want to get into what I went through with people and doxing and I ain't gonna get into all of that. Shoot, people are fucking childish. They cannot stand to be made to look dumb. And see, the trick to that is they make themselves look dumb. You didn't make them look dumb. You just offer fact. Shoot, that's what they hate about you. You're supposed to be a dumb, slow brute. As a man, you're supposed to be a dumb, slow brute. And the only reason why you're here is to become successful as possible so you can give all your shit away to a woman. It's not for you, buddy. It's for her. And now that you got some guys out here saying that, not Fresh and Fit, not Sneeko, maybe Andrew Tate a little bit. But I'm not defending Andrew Tate. I think all of my inserts, plants, tethers has nothing to do with whatever I got going on this channel. I can't speak for other channels. I can speak for this. I can mention names like that because see, they're the example. They're the guys that always come up every time somebody want to cry. And it's been done years too. Tommy, when Tommy was at his height. For those of you who know who Tommy is, when Tommy was at his height, y'all niggas want to be like Tommy. When everybody's godfather KS was at his height, y'all want to be like KS. People are still saying that today. People are still crying. People are still using him as an example of why you should shut up. Now all you hear, and I did a show about this. I'll let y'all know who the mainstream is viewed as the manosphere. And, I brought up names like Risa Islam, Candace Owens, Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, of course, the departed Kevin Samuels. And the weirdest name that just keeps coming up, especially for the weaker minded black men, who keeps bringing this name up as part of a black manosphere or a manosphere, just Pearly Things. Yeah, I think if you're really trying to push this bitch as part of the black manosphere, you got a weak ass mind. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sorry. Shoot. I said that's who the mainstream perceives as the manosphere. Guys that are local to this space that we're also dedicated to, or we seem to be dedicated to, that those names are not coming up. These guys are still kind of under the radar. Kind of. They could break through, but why would you want to at this point? You know what they're going to do? They're going to edit up an interview and push a narrative. They're not going to... If you look smart as 5 Albert Einsteins in the interview, in the unedited version, they're going to chop it up and make you look dumb as fuck. The only way you're going to be unfiltered is probably on your own platform, or platforms that are willing to be honest and truthful and use integrity, because people love to push narratives. People love to push narratives. I don't care how untrue they are. If they don't like it, they're gonna believe it, or they're gonna push it. You've seen this so many times before. I mean, for real, calling people homosexuals without proof. I mean, I can understand if they wearing a pink T-shirt tied around their belly with a damn pink bandana with a lollipop in their goddamn mouth. That's proof right there. But mostly outside of that, y'all ain't seeing that shit. I don't know if y'all saw that video about them two comedians that the Tethers got into it with. And I get why Aber and Preach are at fresh and fit stroke, but they done dragged the whole ideology into it. I watched a music video. They made a music video called the Red Pill Way. And I'm not a big enough channel to affect any kind of traffic at this point. Maybe if one person goes over there. But I mean, it's the same shit. It's the same basic fucking attacks. We don't like women. And then they had a gay guy jumping around in that video. I mean, you ain't got to be homophobic or anything, or you ain't got to be pro-gay, I guess. But at the same time, man, people don't get away with that kind of thing. I mean, shoot, we understand as a group of people, as a group of content creators, that the mainstream does try to push messages like that. And for somebody to have a dude twerking in a video with an alphabet uniform on, as far as I'm concerned, I'll say that it's the same shit everyone else does. The sign language. And see, two guys like that should be above sign language, but they aren't. You got too many of these guys out here, including these unfunny comedians. I mean, what I mean by unfunny comedians, you should check out Instagram. There's a lot of simps that's calling themselves comedians. Yes, a lot of unfunny comedians, and I would say washed up rappers also in this group. They simp. They are huge fucking simps that don't mind throwing male spaces under the bus, that won't talk to anybody that's real. Notice that too. All these people that got smoked for these male spaces ain't never got shit to say. There are a couple people that will go into a male space and say what they got to say. You niggas, fuck y'all ain't shit. And I really commend those people. But to some of the bigger ones, nah. They know who to talk to. Like your boy Umar. They know exactly who to talk to because they come around here with some of that shit. And I'm just going, I'm not the kind of person that's rude. I'm just going to start it off with questions. And I mean, like, we'll just go from there. Shoot. My thing has always been, and I mean always, I never liked attacks on male spaces. Never. Because I know what they're about. And it's never anything good. It's never anything positive. And it's never anything that's going to move any of us forward. It's always a selfish agenda. Always. There's always some ulterior motive. Really, with the guys on Instagram attacking male spaces, it's likes and follows. It's validation. I really thought Instagram was a place that only had like thirst traps and comedy sketches and other stuff. I didn't think that it was simp and misandrous in feminist land. Or as MSG calls it, effiness. Shoot, like for real, that rabbit hole. It's almost as if I'm sorry I ever went down that rabbit hole on Instagram. I mean, TikTok's pretty flooded with them too. But I thought Facebook was the dumbest of all. Instagram, they neck and neck with them. They coming at me in all kinds of ways. Like which that's why I don't understand this logic of this post going around. If Latinas act up, they get called sexy. But when black women do, they get called ghetto. I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, why are there so many Latina misandrists and Latino simps? Who are they talking to? I know they're not talking to black men. I mean, honestly, if you're talking about like in terms of relationships, I don't come in here talking about how messed up the white relationship is because it wouldn't make any sense. I don't come in talking about how messed up the Latino relationship is because that doesn't make any sense. What do I know about that? But at the same time, some goofy ass idiot ninja sitting up here talking about, oh man, I don't ever see Latino men drag Latino women. Latino women. Man, bullshit. First of all, you don't understand the language. How do you know? Second of all, explain all of the ethnic simps and all the ethnic misandrists on Instagram. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. People need to stop saying shit they don't know just because they want to drag brothers. Like, that's their moment. The iron sharpens iron moment. Shoot. I ain't hit comments in a while. Shoot. Yay. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. All righty. We got Y Skinner Man Cave. Oh, if I haven't called out your super chats as soon as you drop them, then just be assured that I will call them out. You know, I know that it is late, that some of y'all probably gonna get to bed, probably catch the replay. Again, shout out to the replay gang. But Y Skinner Man Cave, what's good? Thank you very much. Let me do this for you real quick. As a token of my appreciation. Hey, for real, man. For real. Appreciate y'all for coming through like that. Let's see. Okay, said shout out to BMBBH. Shout out to Y Skinner Man Cave. All right. So also and the Roger Report Live. Long live the habitual line steppers. With a super sticker. Appreciate that. $20. Dub. Yeah, I just had the Ted DiBiase sound bit played. Can y'all hear that? Put a one in the chat. Just want to make sure that all my equipment's working. But thank you very much for that super sticker. Really appreciate the love that you guys are showing me. Let's see. Ray Hanma, what's good, my brother? Ray Hanma. Okay, Cortez Smith. All right. Because most females can't desperately. Dude, they can say, and I'm speaking for me, you know, because all y'all grown people in that chat and who's ever in the replay game. I mean, they can sit up there and call me a misogynist all they want, man. They like, I believe they've seen a lot of the same things I've seen. I think a lot of them just don't care. And just based on the fact that they don't care is enough for me to just say, hey, fuck it, say what you want. Either everybody speaks or nobody speaks. Shoot, you can't just shut some people up and let other people keep going. You know, but whatever. I just let people talk. They reveal themselves. Absolutely. The irony is that some of the guys who actually try to be Kevin Samuels don't rock with us like that. For example, that Darwin guy. Alvin Preacher. Yeah. I agree with that. Because I mean, a comedian. What does a comedian do? What's the primary thing? Because they consider themselves comedians. They tell jokes. So actually, you know, maybe they are telling jokes. Maybe their content is a joke. And I mean, like, I don't totally disagree with them. I can rock with a couple of things that they say. I mean, and to say that they're totally wrong, that wouldn't be a fair assessment. But at the same time, I would mostly disagree with the attacks on men's space. I will say that. I mean, and I understand why they're doing it. You can't go at a man's wife and not expect any kind of, you know, defense on his part. or some type of clapback, because when Myron went at Preach's wife, that was crossing the line, and they've been on their asses ever since. But I think I said this before: to drag an entire ideology into it, that's where they're fucking up. But Fresh and Fit made it personal with those guys, so hey, there's some justification to that. But at the same time, attacking an entire ideology is bullshit, especially if you're not that educated on the ideology itself. Most of these new these comedians aren't comedians anymore. They're not. They're not Richard Pryor. They're not Eddie Murphy. They're not even Robin Harris. I mean, they're not D Militant. I mean, for those of you who know about D Militant and guys like Shucky Ducky, they're not even those guys. All they do is get up and all they do is simp on the Instagram pages. That's all they do. Simp. Simp and call themselves funny. I mean, Godfrey, he's a little like he's still funny. His impersonations are impeccable. But like as far as legendary status, like Eddie Murphy, guys like that, nah, ain't none of them left. That is a lost art. They gone. All of these people who talk down on this space never go at yeah. And that one right there says some really blatant shit. Like I mean, one of the complaints from the anti part of the manosphere was that we were leading young boys down a dark path that they'll eventually crash and burn, and they might harm themselves without the proper therapy to dig themselves out. Then you have a person talking about genocide. So they see, which I mean, both problems that I just mentioned are massive problems, but I gotta say the genocide one is a little bit extreme. So, and it has a rampant following. It preys on the miserable and weak-minded who lack accountability, just like they say men's spaces do. Everybody acting like they're worried about the young boys all of a sudden. The young boys that they continue to ignore. All of a sudden, they're afraid that some man on YouTube is talking to them, trying to instill confidence. Oh, that's what they hate. They hate men with confidence. Ask Shadur Sanders. On Kevin Samuels' last video, he said, "Good Lord, I'm going to hell." Yeah, I mean, I know you wouldn't say that unless it was true. That was Jesus Christ. There's literally a Mexican version of Andrew Tate. Yeah, well, people say that, like, especially in our community, people say they don't never hear, other groups of people talk about their women. Two reasons. Like I said, number one, they don't understand the language, so how do they know? Are they in circles like that? And the other reason is that they just fucking lying. They're just lying to make a point. They're anticipating that the person they're talking to don't have enough information. They really, like, people who argue like that really believe that other people are so stupid that they don't have the knowledge on their own. DJ B-Side 1965 was good. A good comedian makes you think as well as laugh. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is very good at that. Cat Williams is very good at that. Even on YouTube, all the comedy skits are rooted in something. Yeah. Facebook, when they do them couple skits, I saw one couple, the caption read, "What men expect when they do housework." Like, she'll be, like, the girl came in, looked like she was at work all day, and the dude was washing dishes, and he was acting like, "Look at me, I'm washing dishes. I'm so great. Look, oh, I can do housework too." Like, he was just being so passive aggressive about wanting recognition. Another one was a girl literally hitting her man, telling him he better not look at another woman on on the at their family barbecue, at her family barbecue. You better not be looking at another woman. And he was getting plates. He was looking at the ground. She was looking around the corner. I was like, damn. I said, these simp comedians or so-called comedians, they love getting abused. They love getting beat up by their girl. And then, there's always going to be the person that says, hey, well, flip it the other way around. The guy was beating on the girl and it was just for comedy. That content creator would be shut down immediately. You're encouraging abuse. As much as I like Big Jaw and his crew, their stuff is based on simping. Yeah, Big Jaw be smashing a lot of chicks too, though. Shoot. Yeah, speaking of harming themselves, did you hear about the dude at the hospital that unalived his wife? No, I didn't. Oh, shit. I might have. Nick Taylor, what's good, man? But it just kind of refreshed me a little bit, if you can. It happened across the street from what? Damn. Damn, that close. Bill Burr is one of the best comedians of the 2010s, but Bill Burr, like, I'm not saying that I'm completely against a person when they start saying stupid Democratic shit, but then he started getting on that, tip, and it got to the point with me. Well, I get Bill Burr does sound a little red pillish at times, but at the same time, you throw that all away when you try to, encourage people to sign up for something that obviously doesn't work. So, all right. Forever Blessed was good. Oh yeah, thank you for returning to this channel, even though I've done very little content in the past year. Yeah, these kids, they literally joke about me and being abused. Yeah. And that's something that they need to put a stop to, because I remember, like, teacher my daughter had last year, and I'd never talked to this teacher about this, but he's a dweeb anyway, and going to sleep looking like him is his own suffering. But he ended up telling this classroom that, well, girls can hit boys, but boys can't hit girls. And I'm sitting up there like, wow, this is the kind of stuff they're teaching. So, I tell my own daughter, you keep your goddamn hands to yourself. Even if if you're defending yourself, of course, do what you need to do. And hopefully the other motherfucker ain't on the other end, ain't too educated in the art of fighting, but at the same time, do what you got to do, but don't just go around hitting people just because you feel like you can, especially boys, because I make her understand that biology is a real thing. Don't be doing that, because everybody ain't been taught the same thing. Like, I was talking to a single mother with a couple, she had like 2 sons. This conversation, it wasn't nothing big or anything. This was after I got married, and it was never anything. But just want to clarify that, because you know how you are, rumors. But we was having a philosophical discussion, and I kind of leaned into simp a little bit, like, yeah, man, some of these guys, like, at the same time, they need to control themselves and learn how to keep their hands to themselves. And she said something that was very important. She said, yeah, people do speak like that. And, she was kind of saying, and she didn't use the words virtue signaling, but she kind of said it in a way. She said, yeah, everybody's okay with that until it's their kid, until it's their son. Then it's different. So I understood what she said. Yeah, people are okay with things happening to people until it's their kid. People are okay with saying, using a whole abuse narrative, and, because when the whole Chris Brown Rihanna thing first happened, I was strongly against Chris Brown until I really started to think about it. And, then when more of the facts came out, it was like, well, yeah, she was kind of stupid for going at somebody that was stronger than her. So, yeah, it is not good to encourage women to hit men, because, for the most part, unless you're a midget and the woman is Ronda Rousey, that woman probably won't win that fight. you know. So, at least I'm trying to affect one person's life in a positive manner. So it won't be so much bullshit out here. Say, I don't know if you've been to Hoover, but it's in that area. There's been a lot of crash outs, but they weren't viral because all the rest were white and Indian men. Yeah, they'll never push it that way. They'll always protect other races of people in the media. That's why you got online spaces like that continue to gain momentum, especially men's spaces. The reason why they attack men's spaces is not necessarily because of women, because we'll tell it like it is. Well, at least some of us will. Others of us who shall remain unmentioned will sell out. But it all depends on what you see as a sellout. Sellout is basically when I speak in that context, is a person that, you know, kind of abandoning something they started. I would say that. Nick says that shit never flew with me. And I'm an equal opportunity person. Everybody can get them hands. Yeah. You don't look, unless you're defending yourself, you shouldn't be putting your hands on me. I don't care. I mean, if I just like if you are an able-bodied man and you're having a really good day with your mother, and then I come out of nowhere and say, fuck that old stanky bitch. In fact, let me stick my dick all up in her. Fuck that bitch, old bitch. And you standing right there, I do expect you to swing it. If I was to do that, of course, I'm not that kind of person. I mean, I do expect that. Yeah, you provoke that person. Yeah, there's a such thing called provocation. But if I didn't provoke you, you didn't provoke me, keep your damn hands to yourself. Even at some levels of provocation, some people just try to get under your skin. Some people are just trying to make a fool out of you. All right, listen up. If you are in the building right now, if you haven't, please hit that like button. And oh my God, it's you. Women are not on YouTube. Women are on Twitch. Women are not checking for you. You don't like women, fine. This used to hurt women's feelings. And are you a guy or a girl? You don't like pussy, that's great. If you're a girl, I love pussy. You want to come over and see? I'll get my wife to say it's okay. If you're a guy, you can fuck off, but your opinion, thanks for sharing your opinion. Yeah, somebody said red pill and manosphere, and here you go. Hey, thanks for coming through, at least having the courage to drop a comment. I really appreciate that. Detroit XRP 313 was good. It doesn't matter because you guys are still triggered, and now you guys are the crybabies. You can say Kevin all you want. Women are not messing with you. They're not. They shouldn't. I'm married, bitch. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? No woman should be checking for a married man. You're absolutely correct. I agree with you. I agree. And more attention seeking. Only have like 2 people here, so I thought I'd say something, and I'm being nice so I can appreciate you not showing me your narcissism. Thank you. All right, cool. You can make all the comments you want. I mean, that's an attention seeker right there. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have read your comments, but I'll just have it a little fun. Sometimes life gets a little too exciting, and I need something to bring me down, and you have definitely done that. Not bring me down as in, wreck my confidence, but you're very bad at reading in numbers, because I'm quite sure that counter says 19. Yeah, they're weirdos. They ain't got shit else to do. And I mean, I thought, being up this late, I'll be able to avoid some. Women always TikTok and YouTube every day. They Instagram too. And like I said, the attack on men's faces. What they come out with? What did that person come out with? Oh, you must be a homosexual. You must be gay. Making my point completely. But you know what they'll do? They'll go back to their space and they'll find like-minded idiots and weirdos, and that'll co-sign with him. So hey, there's nothing that I could ever say. That's probably a Keisha based on the vocabulary. Man, dude, let me tell you something. It's like you can definitely tell by the attitude how they look sometimes. I mean, it sits down and crosses his legs. God damn. You know how ladylike you have to be to pull that off in a flawless manner? Bro, Gen Z men are checking old ass women. So let me analyze that comment again because this is exactly what men say. Let me see. No, I ain't gonna give it no more light. But that definitely, thank you for, like I said, if you agree or you disagree, it's not gonna be a total crash out for me, but I will think of something to say back. That's not exactly nice, just to, satisfy the hungry lions. I don't know why people think that they got to have a whole lot of people to have courage. Shit, shoot, it could be 180 people in here. I'm the same motherfucker. It could be 1,800, same guy. 18,000, probably not the same guy. I'd be like, oh fuck, 18,000? What the fuck am I saying? Shit. Yeah, but let's get back to it. Y'all love attacking me in spaces. Yeah, y'all do. But you're afraid to run into the guys that's up to the task, and I would say that for even some of the bigger content creators saying that they promote men and all this other stuff. Like, not no dig or no diss to them. I would confess, like, I wouldn't say I was so much discouraged from doing content. Maybe that's why my content slowed down. But my whole thing is this: if you love something, if you believe in something, then you'll hold the line. And there's nothing that's funny about that. Nothing's funny about that. I mean, like, if you want to just say you're this and you're that here, but you don't say it there, why say it? Say, for instance, I never had any problem acknowledging my blackness around whites, around Mexicans, around Asians, anyone. If the situation called, I didn't try to run from it. I found it very difficult. I mean, even if when I was a younger kid, I found it very difficult to run from conversations. If I believed in something enough, if I was passionate enough about it, I didn't care. I tell you the truth. Simps are afraid of women. That's just pure facts. Yes, they sure are. They are terrified. They are afraid that if the woman insults them, that everybody will believe that's what those guys are. Because I've been seeing a lot of, like, if y'all don't like women, date me. Like, they dick policing you. They're telling you because you think a certain way that you should date a certain way as well. I said, these fucking piece of shit people, I swear. Oh shit. Let me change the music. Let's see. Switch over to this. I'll switch over to this. But yeah, I don't think in attacking a male space, the thing is, the messed up part about it is nobody's willing to hear from the other side. Nobody's willing to hear from these man spaces that are getting attacked. Nobody, because they want this preconceived notion about it. Just like the little stumpy little gnome goat demon motherfucker that was just in here a second ago. Like they're not here for a mature conversation. They want to make sure that you know that they can't stand you, that they hate you, that they wish you would die. That's why they celebrated old boy's death. Telling too much truth. People want to be lied to. People say they want the truth, but they want to be lied to. Just like one of these church going people, which I don't condemn all church going people, but especially some of you fake Christians. If you're not a fake Christian, don't worry about what I'm saying. But if you are a fake Christian, listen up. You always say you're all about that truth until some truth actually hits you. Everybody say they want the truth until they get the truth. And that's a sad thing. I'm sorry if you got to hear it from a average, ordinary, everyday black man. For those of you who choose to do that. If you disagree, you can do like that other person did, because I didn't time anybody out. If you guys timed anybody out, I didn't see it. But you can do like that person do. You can have as visceral reaction as you want. Because I wasn't saying anything bad about black women. I said sisterhood. Now, I ain't even got to explain myself. Fuck it. Y'all think I hate women? Yeah, I'm the biggest motherfucking misogynist there is. But you got to prove it. What's your view on Cosby? Oh, they said Bill Cosby lost a civil case. My view is just like with every other black man, they're gonna find a way to get you, whether you like it or not. If you get away with it in some kind of way, they will get you another way. Shit, look what they did to O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was always guilty in some type of way after he beat that damn murder trial. Always. He went back and stole his own stuff and had to spend some time in prison for it. Shoot, you don't think them folks look at Bill Cosby and say, fuck that, we're going to try to get your ass on whatever we can. On whatever we can. Shoot. And, I don't want to make black man the ultimate victim. But we get screwed over quite a bit. They are scared of the sword of truth, the safety of disbelief. And it worked. Sure did. Shoot, who's next on that black man list? Shoot, they've been trying to drag Will down. Shoot, other groups are included on that stuff too. I mean, if you're guilty, you're guilty. If you're guilty, you deserve to go down. Like Cesar Chavez. If you're guilty, you deserve to go down. If you're not guilty, hey, I hope justice finds you. R.I.P. OJ. People never talked about the elephant in the room, which was his ex-wife stealing his money. Even if he did it, people knew he had a good reason. They say there's never a good reason, but if we understood the darkness that was actually this world, I think we would let some things go. And I don't mean to sound insensitive, but hey, we get criticized for being sensitive every day. Well, all of a sudden there's something wrong with me being insensitive. Notice they never came after Cardi B after admitted she great. Yeah, because American culture spends too much time demonizing men and masculinity. And that's what a lot of what's going on with these men's spaces and why they're gaining momentum, because of the demonization of masculinity in men. So by saying that, it must make it okay for women to do these things to men. Especially, and here comes the excuses. Men do it to women all the time. Men do it too. All this other shit. No, one bad act does not justify another. which in turn does not justify bad act. Okay. If a man does it, it's bad. If a woman does it, it's bad. Notice no Me Too or BLM spoke up about it. No. When it's black on black, which I hate to use because that's an opening for racist. But say for instance, like around when Michael Brown got killed. Not far from that place, they said a little girl got shot while doing homework in her grandmother's bed. And nobody said anything about that. No, nobody at least said, "Hey, you know what? We can't be over here talking about this if this over here is happening. Then what did that make us look like?" So, but nobody came forward and said that. And now what does that make them look like? It made it look like that there was only things to gain from virtue signaling police brutality instead of addressing our own shit. Or you could have did both. You could have addressed both. Detroit, I'm actually disappointed in men, even in the manosphere, refused to address Cardi. I think there were, well, who in the manosphere didn't? I mean, I don't particularly remember, so you might have a point there. I mean, maybe I didn't either. I might have said something about it. My show is usually full of variety, and I just kind of speak to whatever comes to mind. I might have said something about it a few times, but my central message is let's cut the hypocrisy. So I might have mentioned it a couple times myself, but uh when I don't know if you're speaking of Manosphere in the context of Fresh and Fit, because like the guys with the bigger YouTube channels, they don't seem like they address shit for real. It doesn't seem that way. I mean, like, and the so-called conservatives, the ones that act like actual bootlicks, they don't use their reach for that. Even though they talking about how much they love some groups of people, they don't use their outreach to address men stuff. Like, men. There's no problem prosecuting men, and there should be no problem prosecuting men for being guilty of sexually egregious acts. But you know, where it comes from is that women are looked at as victims and men are looked at as perpetrators. Women are not looked at as perpetrators. They're not. Men are not looked at as victims. So it's okay to be that way. But really it is. Yeah, if you take a look at the statistics, it will say otherwise. Like how teachers are getting pregnant by students that are underage. And nobody calls her PDF. She won't get sued anyways. Yeah, they're not gonna say that's a problem. You're right. I mean, like it is like a trend of young blonde women teachers. There might be a couple of black ones every now and then, but for the most part, it's always young blonde white women who are teachers that are touching students. And it's not a narrative. It's treated as if this is a case by case thing, which really they should be doing all of it like that. But I got an interesting story coming up. If I can ever get this video done, say you probably heard three channels mention it. The bigger the channel, the less potent. Most of the bigger channels are vanilla and watered down. Because what they did was they used controversy to get where they at, and then they started to try to get more advertiser friendly as they got bigger. In some instances, I can't blame people for going after the money. I mean, hell, if man, I've said this in the past. If I could do this for loads of money, I would. But in hopes that I retain all of my original character. I don't blame anyone, for doing this, but at the same time, the fact that I can, read a comment like yours, I mean, it does symbolize that people do notice things like that. And that's really all it need. That's really all it's needed for the truth to be able to continue to be heard is that you can acknowledge who's doing this as a passion and who's doing this just to kind of and I hate using this word, grift. Boy. Detroit, didn't another teacher just put a boy on child support that she great? I think I heard something like that too. See, this is why there needs to be platforms that address men's issues because grits and butter, whatever that nigga name is, guys like him ain't gonna address it. Guys like Ace ain't gonna address it. Guys with big enough platforms. I mean, and how they, and how they get these big ass platforms because there's enough women out there that want to be told bullshit. A whole bunch. They're either gonna go with people like Ace or they're gonna go with people like CG. But if you're a man space, oh, you got to be the biggest fucking simp ever. Detroit, that's a good point. I know women try to essay men at work for promotions. I heard dudes talk about it. Tommy went through it. I don't know whether to call this essay or not, but if I really push the issue, I probably could, but I wouldn't be able to find this person today to save my life. I remember Daytona 1998, and I'm laughing because I don't really see this as a big deal. I can be honest. I can be honest with myself, but I can't speak for everybody this happened to. And this happened to a couple times. Happened to me a couple times. There were some women out there that was dick grabbing as you were walking around on the street. Like for real, I had my dick grabbed a couple of times. Not like my dick wasn't out. I mean, shit, I was wearing clothes, so I want to make sure that I clarify that. One woman just came up, straight up squeezed it. Now, technically, if a person touches me without my permission, I've been assaulted. So do I look back on 1998 in Daytona and say, oh my God, I was assaulted a couple times? Technically, yes, I was. Am I going to pretend like I've been laying in the ground curled up in the ball crying every time I think about it? Nah. No. Mm-mm. No, I'm not. I wasn't a victim that day on those occurrences. But at the same time, somebody else might have felt as if they were victimized. And if they did something about it, I don't know. Shoot. Yeah, but I'm not saying that in jest or to negate anyone else's experiences. But I know if it happened there, it must happen everywhere. I mean, like, granted, people got alcohol in their system, shit like that, too. But hey, me having alcohol in my system is not an excuse to touch a person without their permission. So think about that for a second. I was literally SA at every job. I worked multiple women at each job. Yeah. And this is why there are men's spaces, because men can't really talk about this openly in society. And I mean, like, if he does, he's ridiculed. I don't believe that people should ridicule someone for feeling that way. If it's a serious thing, let's go in and have, like, take some serious measures. Let's as another content creator said, let's put them people in their lives. They'll do it to you. But, at the same time, I mean, you handle that how you want to handle it. Talking about women are not on YouTube, while women building podcasts on YouTube every day and criticize men on a daily basis. But the manosphere is a problem, but can't take criticism to their point. You are preaching to the choir on that one. Yes, of course, there are women that run podcasts that talk about decentering men but every one of their conversations are centered around men. Every one of their rants, their monologues, their topics, they're centered around men. So that's kind of a goofy contradiction. Yeah, and I know, man, there are tons of them. You see clips of them every day. You know, the podcast that kind of get on my nerves a little bit is the podcast where they have the sit down couch podcast, where there's a black man sitting listening to a black woman give her input on the current status of relationships, and she talking real crazy about black men, and the motherfucker just sitting there nodding, yeah, okay, and that motherfucker is so neutral, just letting her talk as crazy as she wants, and the dude just sitting up there acting like that. Oh man, she promised me some pussy, thinking in his head, she promised me some pussy, so I better not say nothing. And I mean, like, at the end of the day, no one cares if you're gonna get the pussy or not. But what about what everybody sees? They see another black man bitching up, letting women talk about how they want to talk about men, and black men in particular, how they want to talk without giving any pushback. But if you do give pushback, say if I were sitting right there and be like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound crazy. Then guess what? I'm going to get called a misogynist. And then, how I'm going to respond? Yeah, I give great massages. But unfortunately, I can't touch it. Shoot, these people are idiots, man. They are idiots that believe that everybody should listen to what they say because they thought about it in their brain. I mean, so I've been raped by plenty of females, mainly as a teen. God damn. Marcus Romero says, "Go show you modern feminism is nothing but misandrous drabble." It's not feminism. It's misandry. I mean, it's misandry wrapped up in the feminism package. But feminism is supposed to be about the, pushing for the equality of women. Just basically supposed to be the woman's right to be treated as a human being, just as a man is. Yeah. But that was the Anne Marie Stewart idea, for women to be treated like humans and, not to be treated like subpar individuals that's supposed to be just house servants or whatever. And, and I'm not going to get into this cooking and cleaning argument, but because the cooking and cleaning argument in 2026 is one of the dumbest arguments ever. All you're saying is you're lazy and you can't cook. But then when you look at the Wilhelmina Drucker model of those women's rights, then it turns into female dominance. So, yep, Kevin. And on these shows, as soon as a dude say something aggressive, the male host silence them, but not the women. Oh, yeah. Put their hand in their face and act like iron sharpens iron. These are little opportunistic dudes. That's why I be calling them simps. And then, you got to deal with the simping, and then you got to deal with the HNIC complex. The need for one man to feel superior to the other, one man to feel more alpha than the other. How often do you go live, Kev? Shit. As of right now, once a week. I went live last Tuesday. I went live this Wednesday. Pretty soon I'm gonna start scheduling lives on a regular basis. Remember, I used to go as often as every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at one point. Then it became every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I just kind of slowed down. I tried to do an everyday run, but you can get burnt out easily if you're not. And I mean, like, it probably could have been because I was lazy with topics, but but I'm gonna try to go on. We're gonna take baby steps, because I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of where I can do videos again and other stuff like that, because I'm nearing an age where every little thing that I do is really starting to matter. And when my energy distribution needs to count. So what I want to do from here on out is make sure that I can do topics cleanly and put those presentations where they need to be. And most importantly, making sure that that I'm having at least a little fun and a little fulfillment along the way. Because you gotta try to have a little fun with it sometimes. Yeah. In my brutally honest opinion, simps are nothing but predators. They say stuff like the female is God, but will unalive a woman for cheating, and in some cases, her kids too. Yeah, yeah, I remember making a comment. Okay, like I've told this story before too, but I would anticipate that all of you listening right now don't know the story I'm talking about. Um, there was one time I made a comment in somebody's chat where I was invited to the panel. Uh, like dude was just trying to be like, just the precursor to complaining about the podcast and all these dudes doing these live streams and all this other stuff. And he loved women and all this other shit. So she dropped the link. It was a female's channel. She dropped the link, so I hit the link. It was not even a minute later. I finally got to the panel. This guy was having a shouting match with a woman that jumped up on the panel. And she just started like mocking and criticizing. And he like he wow, that dude was mad. I was like, I said, this happened a little quick. And then I started being calm with her and just started asking her questions because she started trying to throw the same jabs and insults at me. I'm like, you need to kind of like, I was coming at her like, well, maybe you need to work on your presentation. See, they hate that more than they hate that more than them cussing you out and you cussing them out. They don't want you to make sense. So how the gas prices in Alabama? I don't know. I think they're the same as in Georgia. I mean, I think the average is like $3.60, $3.60. And I mean, if you're not worried about all the hysteria that's going on in the media, the only thing you'll probably be upset about is the gas prices going up, just to be honest. Yeah. So, I mean, when it gets into the premium prices, it gets closer to $5. But I mean, when you talk about regular, you talking about the average of like $3.60 a gallon. You triggered her when you did that. Yeah, man. But hey, you gotta it's like, understand this: if you're going to run a male space, especially a black man space, I mean, especially if you have the nerve and audacity to name a space "Black Men Being Brutally Honest" with everyone, or "Black Man Being Brutally Honest," uh, yeah, you're gonna face some adversity. You're gonna face some criticism, and how much you care depends on how much you're willing to drive your message forward, whatever that message may be. But the truth is never something easy to tell. Is it and the truth, I would say, is hard to come by. Sometimes it's hard to trust a lot of these so-called influencers and content creators because it's hard to trust how genuine a lot of these people are. And then when you have a bunch of disingenuous people, here's the result. You got opportunistic people like this coming forward and trying to mess it up for a bunch of men in a space who, I mean, and let me just put it to you like this. If you are up here, I mean, and I'm talking about literal, to bash black women, to be a self-hater, to vent outrage about the chick that you didn't hook up with in high school, or if you might be gay or something like that. If you're up here to do that in particular, then may you seek an alternative to deal with your frustrations because shoot, I kind of do understand why some guys would get up here and do that. I do kind of understand. Do I totally blame those guys for doing that? No, because if I'm not going to tell one side to shut up, I'm not going to tell the other side to shut up. The thing is, with people who are listening, it is up to you to debunk the information that those guys are putting out if you don't like what they are saying. But if they are telling the truth, if you insult them, that must mean they're telling the truth. So to some of you out there, grow up. To some of you others out there, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. And what is this thing doing on the screen? I can't even read the comment. Well, gas prices would go up. They already resigned the Federal Reserve and put the new Federal Reserve in and see if they can cut off the inflation. Gas in Alabama is around $2.79. Oh, okay. So it's lower than where I am now. Shoot. But, for my family members that still live in Alabama, that's a good thing for them. Shoot. Because the gas up here is kind of high. Shoot. But anyway. Yeah, man. Look, for all of you that have consistently listened to me, thank you. That just shows me, and that should show other content creators that there are men who do have the courage to stick it out. And we know the true nature of the messages that we push. And, just speaking for myself, that I'm not some anti-black woman, anti-woman, misogynist or whatever. But if, like I said, if somebody calls me that, I will lean into it and do it like none other. But you guys who have listened to me know me well enough to know that male spaces aren't like what this jackass said they were. If this guy's your hero, hey, you're just looking for somebody to look up to. And, and my suggestion is that you adjust your thinking to your age range, because y'all still can't be looking for older brothers at this point, or somebody to take on that big bad boogeyman called the red pill manosphere ideology. The red pill ideology and the manosphere ideology, I'm not going to condemn those ideologies. I will condemn anything negative, but it's like the ideologies ain't what your average person who hates anything that men got to say. That's not what these spaces are. The loudest voices, unfortunately, are the ones that's making it look bad. Anyone who calls Kev anti-black woman is just trolling. That image looks crazy. I mean, this guy looks like that he sits in the corner and cries while his wife is getting plowed by Mandingo. Believe me, I do not want to have anything to do with whatever he considers masculine. But anyway, if you're going to be on some anti-red pill, anti-male space, whatever shit, then hopefully your ducks are all in a row and it's not an emotional diatribe, because there are guys out there that are sharp enough to counter any of that shit. And these are people who are local to this space. I don't have to mention who they are. That's up to you guys that are listening to believe who these guys are. And I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm not going to say it's me. No, I'm not going to say that. A couple of you listening right now might say Kev might not be the guy for this. And that is very well your opinion. But I will leave you guys with this. I told you guys that the red pill and manosphere were going to become buzz terms. I told y'all. I clearly told y'all. I told bigger content creators. let me put that on the screen. I told bigger content creators who I thought kind of mattered, content creators that got a reach that's greater than mine, that this would happen. And we need to at least get ready, or, you know, just if you really are proud of labeling yourself these things, then you have to kind of defend it too. And I got referred to like I was crazy. I got looked at like I was crazy. I got looked at like I was overreacting. Maybe I am. But my belief is reputation and perception is everything. Well, perception is key, but reputation is everything. Let me put it to you like that. I wish I were big enough and had enough reach to defend against this bullshit. I wish. But hey, it's just a wish. Wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up first, as they say. you know, I would not have ever needed to go to a bigger content creator and say such and such is happening just to get let down. What am I doing being let down anyway? But I told y'all a while back that they were pushing for these to become buzz terms. Every time somebody does a hit piece, a lot of people just shit themselves. And the other people just look at it as an opportunity to do what they've always done. You've seen the Devon Dudley interview. I need to check that out because I did hear about that. Yeah, I do need to check that out. And yeah, a long time ago, I promised y'all a show. Not a long time ago, some months ago, I was going to cover the racism in professional wrestling. I started doing some wrestling stuff on this channel. So, because I know y'all like to talk about what we like to call nerd stuff. But, I would just go ahead and say cultural entertainment. I'll still do that show. Cause I can go deep. We'll be here for about 2 hours. I think 2 hours will be enough to cover every little thing. Yeah. But I'm about to bounce out this piece. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening, and long live the habitual line steppers. Hold the line. Peace.